Hello traders, welcome back to the Forex Board Trading Academy, and today yet another currency pair, this time New Zealand versus United States dollars. And as you have noted, we have multiple analysis for the New Zealand related currency pair. But before we get started with the analysis, I would like to remind you that all the information in this video is for educational purpose only and should not be considered as a financial advice. Now let's get onto it and see what happens on the New Zealand versus dollar. So here, basically we have an hourly chart, and what it looks like that the uptrend is likely to continue. What we had is downtrend, or either a correctional move to the downside here, and then we had this break above the downtrend trend line. We had also broken the 200 exponential moving average. It was here, and now once again there was a breakout. Now if I go back slightly in history, there is two important things. First is the descending channel. We had this breakout right there, and the second one is we can see that two moving averages, 200 exponential and 200 simple, formed a resistance. Price failed to break it, but there we had this breakout, which was a very important move by the New Zealand US dollar. So I have used fibs and applied to this correction after we had this breakout. Now there are two important levels, which is 227.2 at 06611 and 827.2 at 06798. And let's move on and see what happens. So here, this is the point area of the breakout of the channel, which did acted as the resistance. Besides, we have 227.2 fibs, and we can see there was a clean rejection of this level. Why this level is important? Well, I have applied another fibs to this correction where we saw this rejection, and we have 1261.8 fibs cleanly corresponding to our previously mentioned resistance. So as you can see, the key resistance is at 0.6800, more or less. It's well, just one pip to go towards that level, but it should be a key psychological resistance for the New Zealand US dollar in the coming week. I don't think today, obviously, we will have some massive rally, but who knows. But throughout the next week, I think we will be slowly rising. Maybe today we will have fast move, but consolidation also is expected. Now, the key point here probably is this rejection. So I think if market will be breaking below this level, the bullish forecast will be turning into a bearish one. For now, it seems like uptrend will continue, but this now remains the key point to watch in my view. Also like this rejection of the trend line after the breakout, and like this current break above the moving average. And while we can see a correction once again to test this support, I don't think it's highly probable, although probable, but still I won't expect it that much. But the small correction very likely to see could be inviting some buyers at this stage. So for the New Zealand dollar, this is our analysis. I hope you enjoyed it. Well, it's about 100 pip move here that is expected in the coming week and shouldn't take much, I guess. So yeah, that's the analysis, and I would like to move on to all previously made ideas as well as analysis. And you can see what we have is Australia New Zealand 1, the New Zealand Swiss franc 2, the New Zealand Canadian 3. So it's a 4 currency pairs with the New Zealand on them. Let's go one by one and see what happens. Australian Swiss franc. Here we have this support which is holding, looking good in terms of the long-term rally which might be occurring, guys, which we might be witnessing. It's starting, who knows. There was a key resistance and now it's a key support, so this could be the starting point of the massive move actually. Euro Swiss franc, well, here retesting this area of entry that we had previously, guys. We can, you know, consider this as a valid point since we returned to this support, and let's watch what will be happening near the resistance if it will be reached. But I don't think there will be break below this level. So if there will be any move lower, definitely I would be watching more to the downside rather than upside. But as long as we hold this low, I think we might be rising. New Zealand Canadian dollar. Here we saw basically the support holding, moving average we're holding, and price starting to rise slowly. So here I would expect this resistance to be tested. Maybe we will go higher, approximately towards 0.9000 level. Who knows, because it's a next psychological resistance. But overall, expecting the move to the upside. New Zealand Swiss franc. Here, guys, also was a tricky one. First off, we did hold the moving average 50 exponential here, but then there was a breakout and then spike below. So as we can see, there was a rejection of the trend line. I did have it previously all the way. So here, as long as price stays above this low, it's a valid analysis. I do believe we will be testing this resistance. Also a psychological level at 6200. So another 150 pips for the New Zealand Swiss franc to go, I think. But we will watch. I think it's still valid as long as this price holds. We should see some move to the upside at least. So I will just leave it on. Australian New Zealand dollar. Here, guys, on the daily time frame, there was an attempt to break above. There was a spike closing lower, and then we had another spike above, which failed to close above the previously formed spike. So here is a valid point as well, as long as daily close remains below a recently printed spike. So we need now to watch this. If there will be a break and close above, the selling point will be less attractive, although I don't think completely invalidated. So here we might see something like that. We'll just keep it on, and we'll have a look early next week. Australian Canadian starting to rise. So here on the daily time frame, there is a potential. Let's move just to the 4-hour chart, see what happens. So here we're slowly rising. It's not much to go here, about 100 pips as well, 90, maybe even more. But yeah, it's still a valid analysis, still looking good. And yeah, we need to come back to all this on Monday. But for now, as you can see, guys, we might have tested bottoms of the multiple pairs with the New Zealand, well, top on the Australian New Zealand dollar. The rest is bottoms. New Zealand dollar, I think bottom has been formed. New Zealand Swiss franc, I think this was the bottom. New Zealand Canadian, I think this was the bottom. So in regards to the New Zealand dollar, I think it's pretty strong, and across the board we should see that next week. That's it, guys, for today. Don't forget to smash the like, comment, subscribe, ask questions, and I will see you all on Monday. Have a profitable trading.